Blizzard, big damage to Cress, but I get the Lunar Blessing. Cress is faster than Lugia. I don't think I realized that. And we do crit the Amogus. Nice. Oh, Lugia took an Icy Wind. I forgot. Otherwise, it would be faster. Well, that worked out very nicely in my favor then. This is another one of those just because I felt like it teams. Let me know in the comments if you can figure out what the theme is. Anyway, let's get some battles. Because I feel like it. Armarouge and Didi stuff. Haven't seen that in a while. Pretty strong though, of course. And the Armarouge, especially in this format, could be carrying Wide Guard. Of course, the Lunala could as well. This is like classic Sunroom, except they have restricted Pokemon. I could Lugia this, probably. Yeah, I think I can Lugia this. The Jump Bluff is actually a little bit of an issue for that. I could just lead my 2 restricteds, I think. Attack something and Calm Mind. Even a Meteor Beam into Jump Bluff could go pretty crazy. And maybe I have to play through some sleep turns, but so be it. I'll bring Cresselia. And I could bring Ursaluna. I could bring Ursaluna. Roaring Moon might actually be good here. I can knock. Bring Roaring Moon. Okay, let's see. Right on Bundle lead. Okay. So they might want to just blow up my Lugia, right? They can use Iron Bundle to break Multiscale, and then I don't know, my Koraidon calcs into Lugia. I do have a ton of physical bulk on this Lugia. I think I'm just going to Meteor Beam. I could set Trick Room, actually. If they've gone with a fast mode, but I don't know what they have in the back. I'm just going to Meteor Beam the bundle. And go for a Calm Mind. If they're clicking Flare Blitz, then Terastallizing doesn't really do anything for me here. Yeah, if I could just get rid of the bundle, that would be nice, I think. They taunt Lunala. That's a... Okay, well, good thing I didn't go for Trick Room, but that doesn't seem like the obvious Pokemon to taunt, in my opinion. If I land this Meteor Beam and get rid of the bundle, then they don't have that taunt into Lugia anymore. Okay, nice. Who's coming in? Koraidon, okay. I can Moonblast Koraidon, they might Terra. On the other hand, I don't want to Moongeist Beam because they also could redirect with Indeedee, and I don't want to be left doing no damage to it. They might just attack Lunala here, but this punishes if they don't. And otherwise I get Cresselia in, or maybe Roaring Moon. Problem is I don't have Intimidate on this team, so I don't know whether it's Clear Amulet Koraidon. It would be nice to just Breaking Swipe it, but that might not work unless I knock it off first. I probably don't get to do all that. Anyway, we'll go for another Calm Mind with Lugia. They do Terra, so this would resist the Moonblast, but it's going to go into Indeedee anyway. The Flare Blitz does some damage to Lugia, but not like a massive amount. I could Terra Fairy. The problem is if they just attack Lunala, then I've maybe wasted my Terra. But I like the Terra Fairy otherwise because I get a chance to knock out the Indeedee this turn. I'm gonna go for it. If it works out, that's really good for me. If it doesn't, oh well. Just protect Lugia, get some recovery. Follow me. Flare Blitz goes into Lugia. Okay, good. So I'll knock out Indeedee here. The Terra Fairy worked out nicely. Who's coming in? Haven't seen their last Pokemon yet. It's their Lunala. Okay. I feel like I can just keep attacking with my Lunala at this point. They'll probably knock it out here, but again, if they don't, that's really good for me. They can't set Sun back up, most likely, so that's also good. I'm just going to double into Koraidon here, I think. They Flare Blitz Lugia. That did a ton. Oh, because I don't have Multiscale anymore. But it doesn't get the KO. We knock out Koraidon with the Earth Power, and then we Moongeist Beam their Lunala. And the two restricted Pokemon just won the game by themselves. I don't think Lunala Lugia is likely to be a world-beating restricted pair, but hey, that was a little bit of a statement for them, you could say. We got some Lunadon stuff here, Lunala and Groudon, and friends. I should be able to set Lugia up on this, right? The Incineroar is a bit of an issue, because if it knocks off leftovers, then the only other way I have to heal Lugia on this team is with Cresselia. But I mean, that's not a bad way to do it. Also, I can lead Lunala again with Lugia, and again I'm just threatening a Meteor Beam immediately. I'll bring Cresselia again, and Ursaluna might not be bad here. Yeah, because I have both of my Trick Room setters, and I mean, Ursaluna has good damage into all of these Pokemon one way or another, and it really ruins Incineroar's or Raging Bolt's day if the positioning is right, so let's do that. They lead Incineroar, Grimmsnarl, so they have their double Fake Out available if they want. I think I'm going to click Calm Mind on Lugia anyway, in case they don't Fake it out, but of course they can't Fake Lunala out, so I'm going to go straight for a Meteor Beam into Incineroar. If they pivot it out, okay, good for them, but I'll take the opportunity to do big damage to it if I can. Probably not KO since they set Light Screen. Okay, don't get the big damage into Incineroar that I was hoping to get there. So once again, I have a bit of an issue with Lunala here, where there's just nobody I want to switch in on a knockoff. I think I just let Lunala go down here. Or I Terra, but I think it's probably not worth. So we'll just Moonblast something. I still think I want damage on Incineroar. And yeah, if they get rid of Lugia's leftovers, it's not the end of the world, but I'm not happy about it. Spirit Break. Oh, and that breaks Multiscale, so a knockoff will hurt now. But they knock off Lunala. Okay. Alright, and I can get Lugia back to Multiscale range with a Protect. I'll go Ursaluna here. They can set Reflect, of course. I'm going to double Protect this turn, get Lugia back into Multiscale, and get Ursaluna burned. But after that, I can click Earthquake. Of course, I have a Flying type on the field next to Ursaluna. They do Reflect. I mean, I saw that coming. It's close combat Incineroar. I did not see that coming. I mean, I can Terra Ghost. I think I'm fine with that. Or I could let Incineroar lower its own defenses, but no, I'll just Earthquake and Earth Power. They'll probably Spirit Break and get Lugia down to neutral special attack, but nice. Ursaluna avoids the close combat, and we will finally get rid of the Incineroar here. And get a lot of damage on the Grimmsnarl too, but I haven't seen their other Pokemon yet, of course. They never did remove Lugia's leftovers, which is kind of the thing that I was most worried about in this game. I am now unable to Terra Fairy the Lugia, but Groudon, I mean, I think I can just switch Ursaluna out to Cresselia here. Preserve it to potentially use in Trick Room later in the game. Cresselia can help Lugia stay healthy. And I think I want to just Aeroblast the Grimmsnarl. It has a high crit rate, so I might crit it through the Light Screen. And I can't have Lugia just taking Spirit Breaks forever. I also can get back into Multiscale range, but I don't think I need to here. Parting Shot, okay. So this Aeroblast will hit something else. Raging Bolt, not especially useful. And actually, it doesn't hit anything else. My bad, but we did switch Cresselia in on a high horsepower from the Groudon, so no damage this turn. I'm back in Multiscale. The awkward thing is that with my Pokemon being at full health, there's not really much for Cresselia to do here. I can just Psychic the Raging Bolt, I guess, and hope for a special defense drop. Just try to get damage on that, because it is an offensive threat to Lugia. To an extent. Of course, Lugia is very specially bulky, and at +2 special defense. Okay, they flinch Cresselia, and yeah, that Thunderbolt does 40% to Lugia. That's non-negligible damage. Light Screen's gone now. I'm gonna get some recovery first, I think. Unless Cresselia flinches again. Yep, okay. That's how it goes sometimes. Rock Slide. Did this much, but I think I had Multiscale at the time, so Rock Slide into Thunderbolt will KO here, right? But Lugia is faster than Raging Bolt. I might be able to, if I trade Lugia for Raging Bolt, I might be able to win with Cresselia and Ursaluna. And I think I prefer that to a double protect here. So I'm just going to double target Raging Bolt. Don't have great damage though. Maybe I did need to play this a little bit more patiently. They do get the KO on Lugia there, but again, a double protect was really the only alternative. I don't know how likely that was. Here, I think I'll just try to set Trick Room and protect Ursaluna. They can actually now Thunderclap Ursaluna if they have it, but we'll see. It'll be funny if they flinch Cresselia again this turn. Can't even be mad if that's what happens. They do have Thunderclap. Okay, no flinch. I think I just Earthquake and Lunar Blessing, yeah. And hope it works out. I'm not running mid-speed on anything because I also have Tailwind on this team. I want Ursaluna to potentially be able to play in that. I think we should still underspeed their Pokemon with both of mine. Yep. My horsepower doesn't do too much. Now they get Grimmsnarl. They can set Reflect back up, but we know that Earthquake KOs anyway, and I mean, I just keep clicking Lunar Blessing and Earthquake, and I don't think they can break that. And even if they do, I think Cresselia still beats Groudon in the end game. Yeah, Grimmsnarl's gone. Groudon took 30% through the Reflect, so another one will KO. And high horsepower should not knock out Ursaluna, but also they went for Rock Slide and missed both of my Pokemon, which, I mean, it didn't really matter at this point in the game, and also they flinched me a couple times, so that's Pokemon, right? But there we go, nice Cresselia Ursaluna game there. Lugia didn't really do a whole lot, but there's not really any but. I think the damage that Lugia got onto the Raging Bolt didn't actually matter if I'm remembering correctly, but still positioned for a win there. Okay, Solgaleo, Rayquaza, that's an interesting duo. I like it. It's also interesting that they have the two main terrain setters on their team. That's always a little bit awkward synergy-wise, but maybe they found a way to make it work. It's not impossible. I think there have been good teams that use Rillaboom and Indeedee. It's something I kind of shy away from. There's another Incineroar. Also, Rayquaza is actually kind of scary because I probably can't rely on setting up Lugia in front of a Rayquaza. It sets up more quickly and maybe powers through. That said, I kind of like... actually, maybe I should preserve Lunala in the back. I was going to say I kind of like the Lugia-Lunala lead again, but Lunala is so strong into Rayquaza because it's immune to extreme speed and it has the Meteor Beam. I should probably preserve it for the right time. I could do Umbreon Lugia or Raging Bolt Lugia, by which I mean Roaring Moon Lugia. I haven't brought Umbreon to a game yet. It's immune to Fake Out and I have screens on it. I didn't really envision that I was likely to bring it to a game, but let's give it a try. And last Pokemon can be Cress, I guess. This is probably not a good mode. I don't even mean in this matchup. This is probably not a good mode just in general, but and we'll give it a go. Okay, Umbreon has Inner Focus, so it cannot be flinched. Just go for... I'm actually going to go for a Yawn into Incineroar before Reflect and protect Lugia. That way Incineroar is pressured out of clicking Knockoff into Lugia, I hope. Helping Hand... Whoa, what is this Incineroar doing? Is it Knockoff? Snarl, okay. Yeah, that's not great either for me. But I guess I'll just Light Screen instead of Reflecting here and go for a Calm Mind. See what they do with this. Follow me. But I'm not clicking Yawn this turn or anything, or an attack. I'm clicking Light Screen. They Parting Shoot out. I mean, fair enough. At least I got the special defense on Lugia. Although their team is all physical offense, probably, except apparently this Incineroar. Rayquaza could run a special attacking set. That's just not what most people do with it. Maybe the Reflect was still more valuable. I'll try to get it here. Calm Minding. Helping Hand. I have multi-scale. Sunsteel Strike. Oh, right. It Sunsteel Strike ignores abilities, doesn't it? Well, that means it'll do less now after the Reflect. And I'll just go for Foul Play into Solgaleo. They don't seem super inclined to redirect it right now. I'll protect Lugia. Substitute? Uh-oh. If they just start clicking Follow Me, then that Substitute can really do a lot for them, actually. But I feel like Lugia is not at the point where it can really do significant damage yet, so I'm going to go for Yawn into Indeedee here. And Calm Mind. If they crit me, that's another lose con, and that's what's tricky about this bulky setup stuff. But okay, they show Amoonguss is their last Pokemon. They bring that and Incineroar back in. So I can protect Lugia around the Yawn here. Of course, I don't have Protect on Umbreon. And I think if any one of my Pokemon has to take a nap, Umbreon is probably the best one. I'll click Yawn into Incineroar just in case. I get to do that and protect Lugia. We'll go for Spore into Umbreon, that's fine. Flare Blitz into Lugia. They might not have knockoff. They probably don't. I've seen Snarl, Parting Shot, Flare Blitz. Probably Fake Out, right? Or on this team it might not be Fake Out, but I don't think they have knockoff. I just try to wake Umbreon up, and Lugia's at +2. I might as well start Aeroblasting this Amoonguss. Oh right, they have the Snarl. I just said that too. Oh, Umbreon wakes up. Amazing. Making Incineroar drowsy. Big damage into Amoonguss. I'm going to Foul Play that slot. Try to catch a Psychic type switching in. And protect Lugia. Actually, I can just Calm Mind again. I think that's just strictly better than Protect here, because if they Snarl, I just get the boost right back. But they forfeit, so we don't get to play this one out. But Umbreon actually put in a lot of work there. For Pokemon that I had some doubts about the way I built it on this team. Of course, if you figured out the theme, you know that I couldn't leave Umbreon out. Anyway, White Kyurem and Ninetales, I just recorded with these. They weren't good. But hey, maybe this person has cracked it. Palkia, Heatran, Therian, Landorus, and Amoonguss. Odd. So, Terra Fairy Lugia or Terra Fairy Lunala looks pretty strong here. Of course, I can only Terra one. Amoonguss is a bit of an issue. I can Aeroblast it. I think this is another just aggressively try to set Lugia up game, like every game has been so far. I can think about leading Lunala with it again. Honestly, Umbreon for Light Screen is also not terrible. Why do I keep saying Raging Bolt? Roaring Moon for knockoff is also not terrible. Imagine if I had Sunny Day on this Roaring Moon, but I don't. Yeah, I could knock damage boosting item or Light Clay, make their life a little bit harder. Let's do that. And I'll bring Lunala in the back with Cresselia. Okay, Ninetales, Kyurem lead. So I think this is a Terra the Lugia immediately game. And actually, there's a bit of an issue with bringing Roaring Moon, which is that it's just going to fold to a Blizzard or a Moonblast. But to that I say, oh well. Knockoff into Kyurem. Try to weaken its damage. Terra Fairy, Calm Mind. Protect? Okay. If they just knock out Roaring Moon here, that's pretty cool by them. But they don't. They set Aurora Veil. Get that Calm Mind pretty much for free. I see no reason not to just do this again. Never Melt Ice. Okay. That's not as big a difference as knocking off Specs or a Life Orb would be, but it's still something. See, Lugia takes that Blizzard really well, and then gets to +2 special defense. They could freeze Lugia. I wouldn't enjoy that very much, I don't think, but... I can go Cress here and just have the Lunar Blessing available, but I don't think I need it yet. On the other hand, Lunala is not exactly doing huge damage through the Aurora Veil. I think I bring in Cress just to preserve Lunala for later. I don't really need a Lunar Blessing right now. Actually, Lunar Blessing is also useful if Lugia gets frozen, but of course not if Cress gets frozen. Let's fish for a special defense drop on this Kyurem. Maybe I just click Lunar... No, it only has 8 PP. I think this is fine. Okay, they go Amoonguss. They do freeze Lugia. Really rough... Okay, I get the drop. Really rough timing for Lugia to be frozen because I want to Aeroblast this Amoonguss. But I think I can just Lunar Blessing and Aeroblast anyway. Lugia might wake up just to take a nap, but maybe with Lugia frozen, it's more likely they put Cress to sleep, and I'm okay with that. Cress is kind of just on the field right now so that Lunala doesn't have to be. I really don't mind if... Well, comparatively, I really don't mind if it takes a nap here. They are running out of snow turns. They'll bring the Ninetales back in, though. That's not a big deal. Aurora Veil probably still has a ways to go. Aeroblast has that boosted crit rate, so I could crit the Amoonguss if I get this attack off. Well, I won't. I probably won't get this attack off, but like next turn. Blizzard, big damage to Cress, but I get the Lunar Blessing. Cress is faster than Lugia. I don't think I realized that. And we do crit the Amoonguss. Nice. Oh, Lugia took an Icy Wind. I forgot. Otherwise, it would be faster. Well, that worked out very nicely in my favor then. That Icy Wind. Cresselia can still take another Blizzard, thanks to the Lunar Blessing. I can click another Lunar Blessing. Unless it's Disable Ninetales about to come in, or Cress gets frozen. Taking their time. Oh, Palkia, okay. Good news, Lugia is immune to Spatial Rend, so I don't have to worry about their equally boosted crit rate. Spatial Rend, of course, being a Dragon-type clone of Aeroblast, mechanically speaking. They could probably knock out Cresselia here. They just have a lot of damage. But we'll click Lunar Blessing and Calm Mind. Try to get through the Aurora Veil turns at least. They Hydro Pump Lugia, but that means we take this Blizzard just fine. No freeze. Cresselia is still being gradually worn down. Snow is over. They could switch Ninetales back in. But... Oh, and Aurora Veil's over too. It's not like Clay Ninetales. I kind of just assumed it was all this time. But of course there are other items that can run. So they definitely don't have Aurora Veil no matter what. I'm going to click Lunar Blessing and Aeroblast into Kyurem. They do switch the Ninetales back in. I think we saw that coming. So they have Snow. But again, they don't have Aurora Veil. Lunar Blessing goes off. Lugia is nice and healthy. Cresselia less so, but getting rid of Kyurem is huge here. Palkia will come back. We have not seen Palkia click Blizzard, but it probably learns the move. So we might not be out of the Blizzard spam just yet. Of course, Ninetales also can spam Blizzard, but it doesn't hit especially hard. But it can still freeze. I'm lucky. Well, I'm a little bit lucky that only Lugia has been frozen so far and not Cresselia. And I sort of blundered into a good position with Lugia taking that Icy Wind and being slower than Cresselia. I'm still kind of marveling at that. That worked out perfectly. Anyway, they forfeited. So that's a win. Shadow Rider Zamazenta. Makes sense, makes sense. Hearthflame Mask, Ogre Pawn, Fluttermane, Urshifu, probably Rapid Strike, and Clefairy. It's an interesting version of this team, but, I mean, it's not super out there. Makes sense. Lugia is a bit trickier here because it's weak to one of their restricteds, depending on whether I Terra or not. It's weak to one of them or the other. But maybe I could do Lugia Umbreon lead again. Roaring Moon could be a fun lead, but they can just wide guard around a Breaking Swipe. Knockoff doesn't really do anything to Zamazenta. It does to Shadow Rider. It does a couple of things to Shadow Rider. I'll play Umbreon. Umbreon... They just lead Zamazenta and Body Press, that Umbreon is sad. Then again, that kind of goes for Roaring Moon too. Alright, we'll do Umbreon Lugia lead. I'm not very confident that it'll work, but it'll be cool if it does. And for the last Pokemon... Cresselia or Ursaluna? I'm gonna say Cresselia. Okay. Calyrex or Shifu. Do I just Terra the Lugia here? I think I do. Maybe I lose to Zamazenta in the back, but I mean, that's why it's a tough matchup. We'll go for Light Screen. Air Fairy, Calm Mind. The close combat does not KO Umbreon, but they follow it up with an Astral Barrage, and that does. Okay. That played out pretty badly. I guess Umbreon was not the call. But, you know, I just thought it would be cool if it worked. Lunala. The Urshifu will be... Yeah, the Urshifu is faster than their Calyrex, so it should be choice locked into close combat. It's probably just going to switch out. I'm going to go for Trick Room to scout a Terra on Calyrex instead of just attacking into it. They actually switched to Clefairy. Oh, they do Terra. Okay. And they just knock out Lunala through Shadow Shield. I mean, yeah, that's not surprising. This team was actually looking pretty solid. It's not pretty solid, I know that, but it was doing well on this part of the ladder up until, you know, I ran into an actual meta team or something close enough. And I just got completely blown up by the Shadow Rider Calyrex, but hey, so it goes sometimes. Psychic. Alright, well, let's get at least one more game. Mono Ice. Okay. Alright, Mono Ice. Well, welcome back to Blizzard Spam. Let's just run this mode again. This one has an Ice Rider Calyrex, though, which is a very different animal from that Palkia in that other game. Go for the aggressive knockoff, Terra Fairy, Calm Mind, just like last time. They do let me get the knockoff. They're just gonna click Glacial Lance? Trick Room, okay. I'll just Protect and... Aeroblast? Be nice if I crit. No crit, okay. It's another one KOs without a crit, though. Oh, they froze Lugia. Here we go again. I'm gonna hard switch Cresselia in to deny them Chilling Neigh boost from KOing Roaring Moon. And we'll go for this Aeroblast if we can. Oh, okay. Switching Cresselia in was not the move because it's going to get knocked out now by another Glacial Lance, which means I don't have the opportunity to click Lunar Blessing into Lugia. So I just need Lugia to thaw. Nope. Alright, last turn of Trick Room. If Lugia thaws, it can click Protect here. I'll sack Roaring Moon to preserve Cresselia. Go Kyurem. Alright, I think they just got me then. Yeah, 2 KOs. Let's just go for this Meteor Beam into Calyrex. Lunala is the fastest Pokemon on the board, so that's something. Why is their Kyurem slow? I guess to play in Trick Room. But Cresselia gets knocked out by a Blizzard before it can heal up with Lunar Blessing, so now it's a Lunala 1v3. Moonblast this. They've used their Terra. Doesn't do very much through the Aurora Veil. We do get the drop, but that Blizzard still does too much damage. Alright, well, if you're a Lugia and you get frozen, make sure you have your best friend Cresselia next to you. That's the lesson here. I'll play until 3 losses like I usually do. Why not? Well, this might be number 3. This is a scary team. Cresselia seems like kind of an odd fit on this one, though. Wonder what it's for. But yeah, this is some all-out special offense here. Probably just going to overwhelm any attempt at Lugia setup. But what else do I have for it? Honestly, I think if I win this, it's with the Cresselia Ursaluna Trick Room stuff, actually. I could lead Lunala. Yeah, I could lead Lunala Ursaluna. Try to set Trick Room with that. Bring Cress, and... honestly, I don't know. Nobody else is really good here. I guess I'll just bring my other restricted. Maybe I could bring Umbreon, but like Foul Play is not doing that much into this team, except the Shadow Rider maybe. They have Electric Terrain, so Yawn is not that valuable. I think I'll just bring my other restricted. Okay, Murkrow Chi-Yu lead. They could taunt Lunala, and that would make me sad. But, one way to find out. Tailwind, okay. Heat Wave. So I didn't need to Terra there. Obviously I did that to cover for a Dark Attack from the Chi-Yu. But, yeah, I do like to see the Tailwind. Now, what's the best way to play this? They haven't Terra'd. I want to click Facade into Chi-Yu, but, you know, what if... I can just click Headlong Rush into Chi-Yu. That'll cover for a Terra Ghost. And Meteor Beam into Murkrow. Honestly, Foul Play Murkrow is a little scary here. Sash Chi-Yu! Oh, no! That's also scary. Because now they're getting a Heat Wave into my lowered special defense. Except it's not choice, so they actually can just click Dark Pulse. I don't know why they click Dark Pulse into Fairy-type Lunala, but... we take those, I suppose? Well, I can simply... Moongeist Beam the Chi-Yu now. There's nobody they can very safely switch in on that. They have 3 Ghost weaknesses, and... I mean, Miraidon just doesn't want to take the damage. And Facade into Murkrow. Haze, okay. Alright, well they took away my special attack boost, but they also took away Ursaluna's defensive drops, so a mixed bag there. We get 2 KOs. That's a funny crit. Who are their last 2 Pokemon? With 2 turns of Trick Room left, let's see who they've got. Shadow Rider, Miraidon, the 2 restricteds. They've not used their Terra still. But I feel pretty good to just click Headlong Rush into Miraidon and Moongeist Beam into Calyrex. And we'll see what they do about this. What will they do about this? Air Ghost Calyrex? Yeah, I don't think that was the play here. Headlong Rush KOs, Moongeist Beam KOs. Back in the win column. Like I said, play until 1 more loss. Okay. Iron Treads. Cool. Kyogre, Iron Treads, Ho-Oh, Indeedee, Raichu, and an Urshifu. I'm going to say probably Rapid Strike, given that they have Rain, but on this team, I don't really know. So I bring Lugia against Ho-Oh. This team might have some Lugia answers, but... yeah, let's try it. Roaring Moon might actually be kind of nice to click Breaking Swipe early on, depending on what they bring. Or I could Umbreon. Well, I can see now whether they have a clear amulet somewhere. It's on Ho-Oh. Okay. I'll just do Lugia, Roaring Moon, Cresselia, Lunala. Okay, it's Indeedee and it's Single Striker Shifu. I didn't check that in their team sheet yet. It doesn't make that much difference, so just Terra Fairy the Lugia here. And Breaking Swipe. So we resist Wicked Blow now, even with its guaranteed crit. Terra Dark. Follow me, but that's not doing anything this turn. That Breaking Swipe did pretty good damage, actually. I definitely intended for this Roaring Moon to boost speed. I'm not sure how I messed up its EVs, but the attack boost has actually been beneficial in this video, so I haven't been motivated to change it. I think I just gave it a Jolly Nature and assumed that would be enough and didn't actually check. But you know, I could have just not told you that, and you could have thought that I'd made a smart team building decision. But I guess we do transparency around here, huh? Anyway. I guess I'll go Cress. I actually do need to get rid of this Urshifu if they let me. Because, yeah, it can do that. It can't... That won't do much to Lugia, but they can do that to Cresselia. They actually did just let me Aeroblast the Urshifu there, so that works out. Now they have Trick Room up for Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh has... Ho-Oh's probably faster than Cresselia, right? Sacred Fire, Brave Bird, Recover, Protect. Let's just try to get rid of this Indeedee. Yep, and Lunar Blessing. Follow me, that's fine. Yep, Cresselia is slower than Ho-Oh. Deedee's gone. Brave Bird into Crest does a lot, but Crest is still here thanks to the Lunar Blessing. They go Kyogre. Kyogre has a Choice Scarf, so that's convenient for me right now. Let's get damage on it. Big damage. Nice crit. Aeroblast boosted crit rate, of course. They do crit back with an unboosted crit move, but we're not going to complain about that in this position. So I get Lunala now. I'm just going to click Meteor Beam into Ho-Oh and Aeroblast into Kyogre, and that might win the game right there. Yeah, they've used their Terra, so I think it will. Okay, they protect Ho-Oh. So it doesn't win, so I don't win immediately, but land the Aeroblast, get rid of Kyogre. Ho-Oh has to 1v2 now, and I don't think it's going to. Especially when I believe my Pokemon are slower. Okay, they stall out their own Trick Room, though, so that's something. But still, I have both these Pokemon at full HP, abilities intact. They missed their Sacred Fire, but it would have been nerfed by the rain anyway. And the double up here does get the KO. So Lugia better than Ho-Oh confirmed in this video. Which is always nice to know as a Silver version kid, you know. Good to know that, I mean, it was a Christmas gift from my parents. It's not like I chose Silver, but good to know that I was accidentally right. This is some hard Trick Room stuff. And it looks hard to deal with, am I right? I think we do Screens Umbreon in this one. In fact, I think I leave Lunala behind in this one. I bring Ursaluna instead to try to take advantage of Trick Room. Might be the first game I've left a restricted behind in this video. I don't know. Okay, Calyrex and Moongus, that's pretty dangerous, because I don't have a way to prevent Lugia from going to sleep. I will just go straight for a Reflect, I suppose, and Terra. Aeroblast. Maybe I get a super crit. Okay, crit would not have KO'd. But hey, they didn't put anything to sleep this turn. I'm going to go for a Yawn into their Calyrex and protect Lugia. Try to play around the Spore. If they Spore Umbreon, that doesn't really accomplish anything for me, but nice, they Spore Lugia. I could have Yawned Amoonguss, I guess, but if they're going to threaten to sleep into my restricted, I feel like the safest play for me is to threaten it into theirs. They can put... Of course, they just can bring in their other restricted. Whoops. But I get Light Screen here because they spored into Lugia instead of Umbreon, so the Necrozma is going to be a little bit harder pressed to do damage as well. They can put Umbreon to sleep here. There's nobody I want to switch in on a Spore. So it's just going to be like that. The Amogus might just ruin my whole day, but, you know, I'm trying to fight back. Okay, they use their Meteor Beam into Umbreon. That is now +1 Necrozma. Umbreon is not super threatened by its stabs, so I might still get a chance to yawn it, but it is kind of dicey, of course. Especially if they click Rage Powder with the Amogus. Moongeist Beam into Lugia. Of course, it ignores the ability. I get a Calm Mind finally, but they can't put Lugia to sleep, except Trick Room is over, so actually I'm threatening a +1 Aeroblast into Amogus now. And I am just going to go for that. Yep, KOs. I don't think that crit mattered, since +0 did almost half. They get Trick Room back up, but they don't have the Spore anymore, so that's something. I think they're going to knock Umbreon out, but let's see if I can get a Foul Play into Calyrex, because I'm in some trouble otherwise, I think. Go for... No, I can't go for Aeroblast this turn. I think I protect Lugia. Get what little bit of recovery I can. Umbreon wakes up. Does land the Foul Play. Does half. Okay. Ooh, Umbreon is so tanky. The problem is now it's in position to get knocked out by Calyrex, which is not really what I want. Do I sack Umbreon, or do I switch to Cress? I think I sack Umbreon so that Cress doesn't come in on a Moongeist Beam. That does mean I won't be able to get my screens back up, but yeah, I need to just be taking KOs here, I guess. Fairy, but it's not going to have to take a Foul Play anyway. That Moongeist Beam does a fair bit to Lugia, and an Aeroblast crit would have been nice there, but, you know, can't just bank on that to win the game all the time. However, I get Ursaluna here. That'll... Will it underspeed Calyrex? Oh, no, because I'm not min speed. It might not. This is hard Trick Room. They're probably min speed. One way to find out. Yeah, they underspeed my Ursaluna. I never used Tailwind a single time. Oh, I actually do still get the Earthquake off. I probably should have just run min speed Ursaluna and something other than Tailwind on Roaring Moon. I almost just called it Raging Bolt again, I swear. Why do I keep doing that? Well, I protected Lugia that turn. I kind of want to protect Cresselia here, but I think I just Lunar Blessing and try to get Lugia healthy. And break Sturdy on their Ogerpon. Yeah, okay, Cresselia survives a Moongeist Beam, so we do get a Lunar Blessing. We do break that Sturdy. And we confirm Aeroblast is a 2-hit KO. Trick Room ends here. Ogerpon will go before Lugia, but Lugia should not be knocked out by Ivy Cudgel. Click Lunar Blessing and Aeroblast. Horn Leech Lugia. Oh, and they do avoid the KO. Oh dear. That'll knock out Cresselia. Okay. Yeah, I'm in danger. Just protect to get what recovery I can here. Spiky Shield, okay. Just Moongeist Beam, no Trick Room, makes sense. Earth Power for accuracy. Okay, they don't crit. That's nice. Ogerpon's finally Ogre gone, but that Moongeist Beam does so much. I don't think I can protect here, because if they set Trick Room, I just lose to that, so I have to Aeroblast and hope that it crits and it does enough. Okay, it does crit, but it doesn't do enough. You know what? In the end, it is fitting that the Moon was defeated by the Moon. If I have to end the video on a loss, because that's what I said I would do, losing to Duskmane Necrozma is probably the best possible conclusion here. Anyway, fun little team because I felt like it. Thought it would be really bad, but did get some decent wins there, actually, and it is always fun. Again, as a kid, well, certainly not a kid, but someone who started with Silver Version when I was a kid, to just set Lugia up and roll through a team with it. I always enjoy running that kind of team, and got a fun little twist on it here. Anyway, more to come.